So, what if I told you that two nations right now on the absolute brink of war were once best friends? I know it sounds completely impossible, but Iran and Israel didn't just get along. They had a deep, secret alliance. We're talking leaders meeting in disguise, exchanging state secrets, and building one of the most powerful partnerships in the entire Middle East. Let's get into it. Look at the situation today, and all you see are sworn enemies. But just a few decades ago, they were secret allies. And this isn't just, a simple change in foreign policy. This is one of the most stunning, most dramatic reversals in modern history. So the big question is, how on earth did a friendship, one built on shared secrets and intelligence, just completely collapse into one of the most dangerous rivalries on the planet? Well, that is exactly what we're here to figure out. To really get this story, you have to go back in time to a period when the Middle East looked totally different. See, this friendship wasn't born out of some shared culture or affection. Nope, it was forged out of a mutual sense of danger. They were, in essence, an alliance of outsiders. Okay, picture this. It's the mid-20th century. The old Ottoman Empire is gone, and this powerful new force is just sweeping across the region. Arab nationalism. All these newly independent Arab nations were fired up, determined to shape their own destiny, and it created a brand new political map. And in this new world, two non-Arab nations felt completely and utterly surrounded. You had Iran, this ancient Persian empire, which was mostly Shia Muslim. That made them a religious minority in a region that was overwhelmingly Sunni Arab. Then you have Israel, a brand new Jewish state, which was immediately attacked by its Arab neighbors the moment it was founded. Both of them were outsiders, stuck in an increasingly hostile world. So, facing this reality, Israel's very first prime minister, a guy named David Ben-Gurion, came up with this really brilliant and pragmatic foreign policy. He called it the peripheral doctrine. And the logic behind it was so simple. If you're surrounded by enemies, you make friends with your enemy's neighbors. So let's just break that down. Step 1, Israel sees itself as a small island in a sea of hostility. Step 2, the only solution is to kind of leapfrog over that sea and find allies on the other side, on the periphery. And who was the biggest, most powerful non-Arab state right on the edge of the Arab world? Well, the prime target was, of course, Iran. This whole doctrine became the bedrock of their friendship. And this doctrine kicked off what you could call a golden age of cooperation. But listen, this was not some public alliance with handshakes and photo ops. No way. This was a deep, deep partnership that really thrived in the shadows. Just how deep did it go? It's pretty astonishing, actually. Israel's intelligence agency, the Mossad, helped train the Shah of Iran's feared secret police, the Savak. On the military side, Israel trained Iranian pilots and sold them some of the most advanced weapons of the day. And here's the real shocker. They even worked together on nuclear research. Israel helped train the very first generation of Iranian nuclear scientists. Think about that. But for all that secret spy stuff, their most ambitious, most brilliant project together was all about economics. It was built to solve a massive problem they both had, a problem that could be summed up in one word: oil. The problem itself was simple, right? Israel was desperate for oil to fuel its economy, and Iran had tons of it. The catch: the entire Arab world had boycotted Israel, blocking every logical shipping route. The main artery, the Suez Canal, was controlled by Egypt, a major adversary. It seemed like an impossible puzzle to solve. But their solution was pure genius. They built a secret pipeline right across the entire country of Israel. Here's how it worked. Iranian tankers would sail down to Israel's port of Eilat on the Red Sea. From there, the oil was pumped through this top-secret pipeline all the way to the Mediterranean. It was a perfect win-win. Israel got the energy it desperately needed, and Iran got a secret backdoor to sell its oil to Europe, completely bypassing the Suez Canal. This relationship was so deep, but so incredibly secret, that when Israeli Prime Minister Ben-Gurion flew to Tehran for meetings, he would reportedly wear a wig so no one would recognize him. I mean, this was truly the golden era of their friendship. But you know how it goes. Golden eras, they don't last forever. And in 1979, this relationship didn't just end. It absolutely shattered. This was the revolutionary break that changed everything. And the speed of the collapse was just breathtaking. In January 1979, the Shah, Israel's great friend, fled the country. Just weeks later, Ayatollah Khomeini returned to create a new Islamic Republic. The Israeli mission in Tehran was stormed by revolutionaries. And then, in this hugely symbolic moment, Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat was personally welcomed to the city to reopen that same building as the new Palestinian embassy. A 30-year friendship was totally dismantled in a matter of weeks. The new regime's entire ideology was the polar opposite of the Shah's. Ayatollah Khomeini flat out declared that Israel is the enemy of Islam. And just like that, the country went from a quiet strategic partner to a loud ideological foe. The alliance was officially dead. But this story isn't quite over yet, because there's a final, deeply ironic twist that shows just how complicated their secret history really was. I mean, you'd think after all of that, the embassy takeover, the enemy of Islam declarations, that all contact would be severed forever, right? But was the story of their secret cooperation really, truly finished? Incredibly, no. When Iran was invaded by Iraq in 1980, it was desperate for weapons. And in a twist you just can't make up, Israel secretly sold weapons to the new Islamic Republic. Why? Because that old peripheral doctrine logic kicked in one last time. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Israel wanted to weaken Iraq, and they were willing to arm their new ideological enemy to do it. And this brings us to the ultimate, most profound irony of this entire story. The new revolutionary government in Iran went about dismantling almost everything connected to the Shah. His secret police, his foreign policy, all of it. But one very particular gift from that old alliance with Israel was dusted off and revived by Khomeini himself, the nuclear program. Yeah, the very same nuclear program that Israel now considers to be an existential threat is the one it helped get off the ground decades ago, training its very first scientists as an act of friendship. This created a massive shift in the region's power dynamics. Before, Israel's biggest fear was a conventional war with a united Arab world led by Iraq. After the revolution, the new existential threat became a radical, empowered Iran with a nuclear program in the hands of revolutionaries. The old friend had become the new nightmare. And so, this incredible secret friendship, this alliance of outsiders, was completely buried by revolution. And what it left behind is a legacy of deep mistrust, bitter irony, and a dangerous, simmering shadow war that defines the Middle East to this day. It really makes you wonder, what other secrets are just waiting to be uncovered?